What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and in today's video I want to go over what my experience has been like in the process of joining the United States Air Force. And now I want to go over all my experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything I went through up until this point. And now, honestly speaking, ever since I'm a kid, the only thing I've ever wanted to be was either a United States soldier or some type of doctor. And now for me, this is going to be step one of achieving a dream, and I'm going to be going through everything and what my process has been like. For starters, I got scheduled for my PICAT test by going online and searching for a recruiter. Now, honestly speaking, it's been very, very difficult. And in today's video, we're going to go over a few things that you can do to help your chances improve when joining the Air Force, and some things to watch out for. So be sure to stay tuned for the full video, and if you go ahead and like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Alright y'all, let's get into it. Alright y'all, so moving into the very first thing I did when joining the Air Force. Now, the first thing I did was I went online to the United States Air Force. I don't know the exact website, but I'll pull it up right here. Now, I went online to go ahead and search for a recruiter and get a little bit more information because, honestly speaking, although making the decision to join the Air Force was an extremely good decision, I still wanted to make sure that I did the research, spoke to as many people as I could, and just see what it's like to join this branch of the United States military, because there are so many branches and so many different things to choose from. But for me, the United States Air Force just made the most sense. It has one of the best benefit packages. After you get out of the military, the people that leave the Air Force have one of the best experiences. I've heard that people from other branches like the Marines, they have fucked up bodies, they're not really good taken care of, and they're kind of messed up psychologically. So for me, the United States Air Force was the best decision I could have made. And now, after I went online, they connected me with a online person. It wasn't a recruiter just yet. They were a person that was taking all of my information, if I had dependents, if I was married, if I had, and all of that information, social security, documents, and all that good stuff. And honestly speaking, that it was a mountain of evidence that they needed to prove I was from the United States, my passports, my birth certificate. It was just a lot of information. And then after I was able to turn in all that information, they got me connected with a recruiter. And honestly speaking, this first part was super easy, but once I got connected to a recruiter, it was pretty difficult. And let's go ahead and get into why. Alright guys, and to go over why it was more difficult for me to connect with a recruiter than it probably would be for you, is I honestly made a huge mistake. So this isn't the first time I've tried to join the United States Air Force this year. When recording this video is being recorded in December of 2025. And I tried to join the United States Air Force, this particular sector, in about July of 2025. But then, halfway through the process, I just got scared. I wasn't sure if I made the right decision. So I ended up stop texting back with my recruiter, and that's on me. I made the mistake of not informing her or even letting her know, like, hey, right now it's not a good time. Let me circle back to you in a couple months, right? And that was a big mistake because the recruiter took it personally, and I understand why. If you don't text somebody back, aren't you gonna take it personally? It's basically like I ghosted her. So that, honestly speaking, that really messed me up because that put me in a position where the recruiter did not feel inclined to help me. And because of that, and also because of the fact that the United States Air Force around that time was completely filled up. They do not need people, so the people they're pulling into the Air Force, they're only getting the best of the best. So if you don't come with your A game, they're not gonna take you seriously. And honestly speaking, that's how I messed up. And if you're wanting to join the Air Force, make sure first you don't make the same mistake I did. Don't think about it and then pull yourself out of it, because that's going to give you a bad name when it comes to your recruiters. And I had to really work hard to get into it because the recruiter that I was talking with, she didn't want to go ahead and help me anymore, justifiably so. So I had to go online and search other recruiters that would help me in a better aspect. I went far, man. My recruiter was in Mount Zion in Atlanta, Georgia, and I went down to Locust Grove. That's about 40 minutes away. And I talked to the recruiter, and the recruiter's like, hey, I'm not gonna lie to you, I really like you, you sound interesting and all this good stuff, your PT is amazing and everything, but I am backed out for 6 months. So even if I wanted to help you right now, I'm not gonna have availability for 6 months because once again, the United States Air Force has fulfilled mission. So they don't need people. The people they're bringing on are just extra. They don't need you. So at that point, I was like, damn, I should have taken it seriously earlier in the year, and man, this really is holding me back. But honestly speaking, this is where the aspect of never giving up really comes in. instead of just quitting and saying, you know what, let me go to the Marines, Army, Navy, or somewhere else, I really wanted to join the United States Air Force because once again, for me, it just made the most sense about just about any military branch. So I tried again. I went ahead and went down even further down south to the next recruiter I could find, which was down here in Macon, Georgia. And I swear to God, this was the best decision I could have made because just as I thought I wouldn't have a chance, I got a recruiter who had just came back from maternity leave, so I caught her at the exact right moment. I believe she had just got back that day or the day before, so the timing could not have been better, right? And then after reaching out to that recruiter, she literally scheduled me for my PICAT next day. So I went from thinking like, I'm not gonna have a chance, I'm not gonna be able to get my dreams accomplished, to the next day having the test that got me started on my journey. So this is just a testament that if you are really into something and you really want something to happen for you, don't let anything hold you back. Push past your limits and move forward. Do not let a single thing hold you back if you feel like it's the right decision for you. And then, now, that was it. Everything at the beginning was going online, talking to an online person, getting information sent up, and getting yourself connected to a recruiter. And this is where we move into step 2. Getting my test scheduled, which was the PICAT, which is like the ASVAB, but a shorter, condensed version that's taken at a recruiter office instead of being taken at a proctored exam. So let's go ahead and get to how my PICAT experience was. All right, y'all. So after I got my PICAT scheduled, like I said, next day after talking to the recruiter, I had my PICAT scheduled. So I came into the office, gave her my information, got to talk with her. It was amazing. Her and her husband are in the military together, so they're a very good team. And everything was just amazing. I let them know about the one tattoo I have. And you want to make sure that if you do have tattoos, it's not in a place that's like on your face, in your like facial area, neck area, because honestly speaking, while I was waiting on her to attend me, I did hear her talking to somebody else. Well, her partner, the other recruiter, I heard him talk to somebody else, and the guy actually got denied. So he had sent all of his information up and interested in joining this and that, and he had actually got denied because he had a tattoo right here on his ear. They're saying, hey, listen, we don't have waivers for that anymore. This isn't 2020 anymore. We make exceptions for everything. Like I said, only the best of the best. So the guy got told to go to a different recruiter. Next door was Army or Marines, one of those. I think both are next door, but he got sent to a different recruiter because the Air Force won't make that exception. So after getting my PICAT scheduled, I had been studying beforehand because I had already made the decision that I was going to go into the Air Force. So I wanted to study as best as I could for the PICAT. And for any of you who want to study at home or do anything like that, the best study guide I have found online is on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle just like I did. It's ASVAB for Dummies. Literally just go through that and practice as much as you can and build your wealth of knowledge. Because honestly speaking, the hardest thing on the ASVAB is not necessarily, or even for studying for the ASVAB, is not necessarily the difficulty of the information. It's sometimes a high school information. It's not a college level or any complex master degree, anything, right? The most complicated part in taking the ASVAB is actually the bulk of knowledge. It's not the, in this case, it would be quantity over quality. It's not difficult. It's just a lot of stuff you have to learn. So the sooner you can get through practicing, the better your test exam will be. Now for me, I was practicing 3 weeks before I took the PICAT. And when I went in to take the PICAT, I actually was honestly, it wasn't that hard, if I'm being honest with you guys. The PICAT was not that difficult. So when I took the PICAT, after testing, they give you your score and everything, and then they give you a list of jobs you could potentially qualify for. You just have to go after and take another test. So I ended up doing very well. I'm gonna put it up here on the screen. I was extremely proud, you guys. I had an 88 on my PICAT exam. So 88 out of 99 percentile. And honestly speaking, I felt really proud. I just got like revitalized, like, yeah, I'm moving in the right direction. I'm getting everything done. I went from thinking I couldn't go and push towards my dreams to having the shackles removed from my arms and being revitalized, and this is the right decision. And then after that, a few weeks passed by, and then after those few weeks passed by, I got scheduled to take my verification test, because after you take the PICAT exam, you have to go to a proctored location and get a verification test done, and just to make sure that you didn't cheat on your PICAT exam, because I guess some people do. And I didn't, so I wasn't stressing about it. But some people do cheat on those tests, even if they do it slickly or anything like that. And keep in mind, you guys, do not cheat on these tests. It's better to do a little bit worse than to cheat and basically get yourself removed from the military for 6 months. Because I believe if you get caught cheating on any one of their tests, it's a 6-month denial of service. They won't even pay attention or schedule you for any test for 6 months. That's half a year, bro. Don't do it. So at this time, yeah, like, just don't do it. And after I got finished with my PICAT, I had weeks after, like I just said, I had got scheduled to go to a proctored exam area and take a verification test and a personality test, also known as TAPAS. So let's go ahead and get into how that experience was for me personally. Now, like I said, you guys, so far my entire experience joining the Air Force has been smooth, seamless, and almost too easy, if I'm being honest. But for those of you joining any branch of the United States military, keep in mind, just as you think shit's getting sweet, it's gonna get even worse and worse and worse, just like it did for me. And I'm only speaking from my personal experience up until this moment in time, but oh my God, let's go ahead and get into it. So for me, after I showed up very early, and I if I'm not mistaken, I had to be there at like 8 or 7, but I got there like 20 minutes beforehand of the scheduled time. I believe it was 8, but I don't really remember. It was a while ago. So after I got there, I got set up with all the people that were taking the ASVAB or / the verification test, which is the one I was taking, and we waited an hour, 2 hours to get everybody set up, situated, and everything like that. We got moved to a different room to where we would actually take the exam. So we met up in one room, and we went to another room to take the actual exam. But it took so long that, no lie, you guys, me and about 2 other guys actually fell asleep during the entire process. So just keep in mind, if there's a few people falling asleep, that means it's taking way too long. But before we got testing, the proctor of the exam let us know that no matter what, you guys that are taking the verification test, no matter what, 20% of you guys are actually going to take the full ASVAB after getting the verification test done. And I was like, cool, I have pretty good luck. I don't think I'll be taken. So I went through the verification test, took about an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour. And honestly speaking, the verification test was not that difficult. It was pretty much similar to what I took at the PICAT. So I think I did well, but then after I hit the section where it said finish, and then it actually went from finish to continue, and I was like, fuck. Oh, okay, shit. I got selected to go ahead and take the full ASVAB. So in the process of taking the ASVAB, this is where I say that just when you think shit is sweet, shit gets worse and worse and worse. In the process of taking the ASVAB, the first quarter, I was like, it's okay. It's not that difficult. But as the test drew on and time kept pushing, I was like, I don't know if I'm mentally fatigued after just testing and testing and testing and testing, but dude, I felt like I got dragged to the lowest levels of despair. I was like, yo, what's going on? I don't understand this. I even, honestly speaking, I did a whole bunch of like studying for this, and some studying you can do is actually with the ASVAB for Dummies, you can actually go to ChatGPT and say, hey, listen, I just went over this section as I'm studying for the ASVAB. Can you make me questions based on this section so I can study better? And it'll give you like 8 different examples, 10 different examples, depending on what you ask. And also, if you're stumped on a question that you see on the ASVAB for Dummies, you can just take a photo of it, upload it to ChatGPT, and ask them to give you step-by-step instructions so you can actually learn. Because keep in mind, guys, you cannot fucking cheat. Don't even try to. It's better to get a worse score than it is to attempt cheating, okay? But moving on. After doing this, right, I was like 2/3 of the way into the test, and I got dragged to the lowest point of my entire life. I was just like in despair. I had filled with anger. I didn't know what was going on, but I could just tell you I was like the angriest I have been in a really long time, the saddest I have been in a really long time. And honestly speaking, I was disappointed in myself because at that moment I just shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's everything that went through my mind. I should have studied more. I could have studied more. If I had a chance, I would do this over again and study even harder so I wouldn't feel like this while taking this exam. Because I could tell you, after taking the exam, I just felt like defeated. I honestly think, like, keep in mind, I went from thinking I'm the shit, I got an 88, I could do anything, to taking this test and being like, damn, what's going on? I don't, honestly, I'm like perplexed right now. I'm just like, somebody took my head off and just hit it with a bat, bro. I'm like discombobulated at this point. And then after finishing the test, the worst part is they don't even tell you your score. So you can go from like, you don't know how you did at the end, right? And after submitting it, I was like, fuck. And keep in mind, it's not over yet. I still had to go through and take the TAPAS, which is like the personality one. And then also after the TAPAS, I had to go and take some other tests. I forget what it is, but it's like a technical knowledge one to see how much you actually know about technology. And it was just getting worse and worse and worse, man. Nothing was getting better, just more downhill. And honestly, as time drew on, my brain was unraveling. I was tired. I was like 4 or 5 hours worth of testing right there. So I was just fried. I was very tired. I was over it at that point. And some of the questions on the TAPAS are dumb. Like they ask you, would you rather kill your mom or your dad? And I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Both of these are bad options. And of course, those aren't actual like questions they ask you, but it's illegal to give you actual examples of what's on the test. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna suffer being locked up for anything like that. You know what I mean? You gotta be safe, guys. But after taking that, man, I reach out to my recruiter because you have to reach back out to your recruiter after all your testing is done to see how you did. And man, when I tell you, I texted her, she didn't text me right back. She took like 30 minutes texting me, and I was already on the way back home to Atlanta. And so, just disappointed, driving in a very gloomy mood. And then I got this magical text. She was like, yeah, I got you, no worries. I understand the test could be difficult. Everybody goes through this. Let me go ahead and pull up your score and see how you did. And she sent me a photo, right? And when I got the notification on the car, I was like, okay, let me pull over, because if I'm gonna crash out, at least let me not drive. You know what I mean? But after pulling it up, I literally had my eyes closed, and I'm like, okay, it's just time to reveal. Let's see. And I'm scanning the document she sent, and I'm like, whoa. I'm scanning it 3 times just to make sure I didn't misread it, because keep in mind, I think I got a 50, right? And then, bam! Another 88, brother. And I swear to God, I feel like the 88 is a magic number for me, because once again, after thinking I did difficult, after being like struggling mentally, it's like fucking mental warfare they put you through. But after struggling so much, I got an 88 again. Like, I can't even tell you how proud of myself I was in that moment. I was so happy. I even texted her, hey, I'm not misreading this, right? I don't want to get happy and then get all upset because it isn't what I thought it was. Did I get an 88 again? She's like, yeah, honestly speaking, that's like your magic number. And I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking, y'all. So just keep in mind, my brain was going through a roller coaster, just like, fuck, you know what I mean? And just to finish out at this and get an 88 on the ASVAB, an actual ASVAB, not a verification test, but the full actual ASVAB. I was so proud of myself. Like, this just revitalized me in everything. And just for any of you guys who are joining the United States Air Force or any military branch, keep in mind, most people that join most things are average, they don't try the hardest, and they do things half-assed. So if you come in with the right mentality, study, work out, do your physical, and try your best, try your absolute best, you will be way above anybody else, and you'll be able to achieve your dreams in the United States Air Force, the Army, the military, any branch, the Marines. It does not matter. As long as you show up with the right mentality and you're able to go ahead and push past your own self-imposed limits, you'll be able to achieve anything, brother. And at the end of the day, this has really revitalized me in knowing that I'm moving towards the right direction. And now, man, it's just been a wonderful experience personally for me. It hasn't been without its limitations though, because keep in mind, only the best of the best. The United States Air Force is filled, so they don't need you. If they bring you on, it's because they see something in you. It's not because they need you anymore. But yeah, and that's been my experience joining the United States Air Force. If you have any questions on anything I may have gone through, go ahead and drop it in the comment section below. And keep in mind, right now, in this video, I've already been to MEPS. So the next video I have coming out is gonna be my experience during MEPS. And Honestly, once again, just when you thought shit was gonna get sweet, it gets more and more difficult, because MEPS was a roller coaster. I'm glad it's over, but I still have a few things I had to finish out. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you want to see the video I have coming out for MEPS, go ahead and turn on that notification bell. But yeah, man, that's all I got. If y'all enjoyed the video, once again, like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.